Hello, Elroy. I had a question. Uh, what do you think about Nezzy and Jason, John the Third, Lorinda, um, Rocco, um, and you know, what's what do you think about them? Showing up and showing you love, and coming on to video chat with you. You have
I
any?
was real, I was real happy that they did that. It was definitely a pleasant surprise. It was something that I was unexpected. Uh, a few of the people there I've met. This is the first time I've ever met them, and I would love to learn to get to know them better. I was hoping that they would get on my email list. Um, Still hoping. Um, I read that. I read that. Uh, I, I haven't been on the internet in over 16 years, so I don't know the term, but that that text thing that you sent me, Kev, between you and Nazi.
Oh, the messenger.
Yeah, but what's that called? Text stream or
Well,
text chain or?
that was just it was the Facebook. It was just the Facebook feed.
Okay. Well, the Facebook feed. When you sent me the copy of the Facebook feed, Nazi had questions, and the first thing that popped into my mind when I saw that she had those questions was, well, if she was on my email list, she could have asked me, and I could have answered them directly straight to her. You know. But that's the reason why I asked you to post my ebook for download on Elroy in Prison TV,
Yeah.
so that anybody that wants to get intimately into that night, they can download it and they can be there, so to speak. And that way it'll help answer a lot of questions.
Also, the story is available on Amazon also.
It's on Amazon? Well, thank you, Kevin, for getting that to work.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Much love, brother.
Yeah.
To my family, though, to finish up on the question, I was asking myself, I told them how to get on my email list. I gave them the website. I gave them the toll-free phone number, which is 877-650-4249. I was asking myself, if I was them, why would I not get on my email list? So I tried to put myself in their shoes, and the only thing that came up to mind was that I would ask them for money. And I just want to tell everyone in my family, I will not ask you for money. I won't ask you to send me any money whatsoever. I would love to get to know all of you, to get to know your families, so that we can reconnect. I'm not expecting anyone to put money on my books. I am not living great. I don't have a job. I haven't had a job in over 3 years. But that's a different story in itself. But I am here. I'm doing all of this to prove my innocence. That's basically the main goal. I just wanna show the world that I'm showing all my cards, laying everything out on the table, and have the world look at my case and make a decision on it. Because if I do decide, if I do decide to commit suicide, then at least people can look back at my case and say, oh, he didn't quit, he didn't give up. The reason why I would do that is for what I said before. I mean, this here is not the real world, And I know that some people have trouble understanding that or relating to that, but this world that I'm in is totally different than the world out there, and I see why a lot of people who go to prison repeatedly come back to prison. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And that is the reason why I can't accept living in this world. It's just the mentality, the principles here. We all know the rest. I don't really want to get into it, but this isn't, to me, this isn't a life. And if I can't have a life, then there's no sense in me living this life. So that's in terms of prison. But I just want everyone to get my side of the story, to know how I feel, to know my heart, to know my mind, and to know that the decision I made is, as far as I'm concerned, a rational one. You know, some people in their religions, they don't believe in suicide, but there's actually some religions where suicide is honorable. So, you know, but I would love help in proving my innocence, but if that can't be the case, then there's no sense for me to be here.
Well, what about can you justify what Nezzy asked you, that super important video chat that we had that was bombed? Is there any way we can re-question that without any interruptions?
You mean replay the old one?
No. Is there any way we can answer the question Nezzy asked you before it got bombed on the last 2 visits ago? You know, video visits.
What was the question? What was the question that she asked?
She said, "What's up? So did you do it or what?" That's exactly what she was basically asking. So she wanted to know the story and your summary of small summary. That's all.
No, I did not. I testified. That's the reason why I published that book.
Yeah.
I took the stand, so that way it can be on record, my story, that I can lay upon my 12 jurors, I guess witnesses, my side of the story. And it was more so for my family. I'm pretty sure maybe 10, 20, 30, 50, maybe 100 years ago, someone will be going through, Ancestry.com, and they'll see me, and this way they can go and they can, read my words, read my testimony about what I did.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I took the stand. I knew I was going to be convicted. I mean, if I'm gonna go to trial with absolutely nothing, you can't expect a jury to just go, okay, he says he didn't do it, but all this that we call evidence says that he did. So I knew when I took the stand that I was going to still be convicted because, again, I didn't have any evidence. My public defender brought nothing to trial. I mean, he didn't even want me to testify. When I first met him, I told him, I said, I don't even want to talk about a plea bargain. Don't even go over there. Don't even negotiate it. Don't even mention it. I'm not taking a plea bargain. And I told him that I was innocent. I told him my testimony. He went to the media. Again, I didn't give him permission to do this, but I never knew that he was going to talk to the media. So some say you didn't tell him not to. So it's like, I didn't know that he would, but he went to the media and he said something that was contradictory to the testimony that I gave him. And like I said, I never gave him permission to talk to the media, but then again, I never knew that he would. So some people say that's my fault. I should have told him, don't talk to the media. But again, I'm not trained in this type of procedure or whatever they call it.
Court procedures.
Judicial system, court proceedings and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he made a statement to the media that was contradictory to the testimony that I gave him. So the fact that he was purposely inept and then said to the media, in his opinion, things were suspect, and the fact that no evidence on my part was brought to trial, I already knew that I was going to be convicted. That was yesterday's news. The moment I knew he was not bringing any evidence to trial, I already knew I'm testifying. You know, he didn't even want me to testify, but I told him, I said, I'm getting my words on record. I want people to look me in the eye and watch me as I testify. You know, but the one thing some people said was, you know, well, if the police fabricated evidence, manipulated evidence, and destroyed evidence, then eventually, you know, they'll have a guilty conscience, and, you know, they'll confess 10, 20 years later, oh, yeah, we created this evidence, and we destroyed this evidence, and we manipulated this evidence and stuff like that. And I told him, I said, the officers involved are racist. I mean, I got proof of that from my ex-wife. So as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing to be on their conscience. There's nothing 10 years down the line that they're going to be stressing about, you know, on their deathbed, because as far as they're concerned, they're doing the Lord's work. You know, I don't know, not too many people to go to Klan rallies, but they walk around with their Bibles and the cross and the Lord and all. You know, if I'm correct, that scripture is Ephesians chapter 6, verses 5 through 9. You know, they believe that they, you know, through God, that their separatism, you know, their anti-black is justified. You know, so I don't expect any of the officers involved in this conspiracy to all of a sudden, oh, you know, we killed that man and we framed another man and we need to confess that to get into heaven. That's not their thought process. As far as they're concerned, they're doing God's work. So no, I don't expect the Pittsburgh police officers involved to eventually gain a conscience and go, oh yeah, we set that black man up for murder. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I don't believe that in any way, shape, or form. If anyone decides to download my testimony, you'll see that evidence has been purposely lost, or purposely destroyed, or manipulated, or even created out of thin air. You know.
So where can we find that? Where can we find that if somebody wanted to go to the direct source, looking for your testimony?
Well, they can download my testimony at either Elroy in Prison TV on YouTube, or they can download my ebook at it's one word, Safe Streets Arts. Pardon me. Start that again. SafeStreetsArts.info. If you go there and you find their section of featured artists, you'll find my name there, Elroy Laynes, and you can download my testimony.
Yeah, because when I seen it, when I downloaded it, when I went to search for it, it was straight. It was like www.safestreets.info. Oh yeah, Safe Streets Art all together. Arts. Yeah. Safe Street Arts all together. And I didn't have to put the info at the end. It just took me straight there. But when I did the info, it just couldn't upload. So some people, if you guys are looking for it, it's Safe Streets Arts. Try that if that doesn't work with the info at the end.
Well, that's why I asked you to make it downloadable
Yeah.
transfer it over that way.
And I'm
If
just
there was
giving
any
all
issues
options
there.
where you can find it everywhere.
Well, the one things that I can talk about openly is dash cams. No dash cam. For some reason, all the dash cams were turned off.
Did they have dash cam 16 years ago? I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there because this video is going to be forever. This video is going to be forever on YouTube. This video is going to be forever played hundreds of years from now. I mean, just put it out there. Was there dash cams, and why was dash cams cut off?
Yes. There was dash cams were invented long before I was arrested.
So if I was a lawyer, what flaws do these officers have that kind of missed on the story that they try to put you? So the dash cams are out. What else that we have? There wasn't a testimony.
Body cams are out too.
Body cams were off.
Their body cams weren't on either.
Okay. And then we had what? They had your son testify against you. How old was he?
Not my son. No, it was her son.
Oh, her son. Okay, but how old was this kid? You know.
The night he was 8 years old.
And did they record it, or was it?
They interviewed him the night that it happened, and that interview vanished. Didn't happen. It just lost it.
They lost the tape, basically. So they lost the tape.
For some strange reason, they lost it.
They lost the tape. So it never was brought to court.
Exactly. You're getting real choppy. I don't know what you're saying, but I think I'm following you.
I'm just basically asking you questions what a typical lawyer would ask you, or somebody that would be interested would ask you to be.
Well, I asked my public defender to subpoena the Pittsburgh police officer that was secretly sleeping with my then wife. He looked me right in the eyes and says, I'm not doing it. My own public defender. I said, I want to subpoena the officer that I saw at the house that night. It's the same officer that's sleeping secret that I found, that I discovered, was secretly sleeping with my wife.
And who would be that?
My public defender looked me right in the eye and says he's not doing it.
And who is that? Who was that? Mr.
Foreman.
Mr. Foreman, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so he was there that night also, but it was never on paper, never looked into.
Nope.
He was there that night doing laundry, and
I even asked my public defender to subpoena his phone records.
Wow.
Because I know my ex-wife called him that night. Once again, my public defender said he's not doing it.
Wow. That's definitely unfair. That's something that like a lawyer would listen to and be like, whoa, wait a minute. So there's more to the story that they didn't want to add to her, you know?
That night I had major surgery. Major surgery. I was there. I was at Allegheny General Hospital. I had major surgery. And they took a blood alcohol test on me. And that blood alcohol test, Allegheny General Hospital lost.
Lost forms?
Lost it. It was proven they took the test. They took it. The test was taken. But the results were lost.
Wow. That's amazing. How no one, this is, the prosecutors and stuff, that they definitely overlooked a whole lot of things to get you where you're at. So.
What you mean my public defender?
Yeah, the public. Yeah, he kind of overlooked it all. Everything that was supposed to be typically was supposed to be looked at before you paperwork to get together to go to court with. This guy walked into court, had nothing. Don't even know your last name, basically.
Nope. And two things that one thing I know you remember, Kevin, the one visit that we had trouble recording, and my ex-wife
bombed our Zoom meeting.
She
bombed our Zoom meeting.
She photobombed the Zoom meeting. Do you remember the first thing she said? Do you remember the first thing she talked about?
I couldn't remember. I know she was just interrupting and just bombing our whole vibe there.
Oh yeah, yes, but the first thing she said was, think of the children rehashing the past.
Yeah. I remember that part.
She said she didn't want to subject her children with this over again. Well, if that be the case, then why would she allow her 8-year-old son, whom has two mental disabilities? Why would she allow her 8-year-old son to testify?
Wow.
Kind of hypocritical, if you ask me.
Yeah.
One of the things that I also asked about, speaking of her son, was, again, he has not one but 2 mental disabilities. At that time, his mom, because we were together, we were married. At the time, his psychiatrist recommended medicinal treatment.
Wow.
But at that time, she didn't want him taking any pills, no meds, no pills, no nothing. So he wasn't on any medication, even though he was diagnosed with 2 different mental disabilities.
Wow.
I'm willing to bet that shortly after my arrest,